This is the Polestar 4, the bigger brother to the Polestar 2, obviously fully electric. It promises several things: 380 mile range, hands and eyes off autonomy, but the thing that everybody's talking about is it's going on sale with no back window. In this episode, we're going to have a walk round of the exterior, the interior, hopefully talk to the designer and learn more about its tech. I'm Jonny Smith, welcome to the Late Break Show, and this episode is proudly supported by blackcircles.com, Britain's largest online tyre retailer. Okay, brief history of Polestar, in case you've forgotten who Polestar are. They only make pure electric cars now, but the Polestar 1 is the sort of like Swedish Mustang, amazing plug-in hybrid thing. They only made 1,500 of them worldwide. Polestar 2 is the one that you see on the roads everywhere. It's their best-selling car, has been for ages. I'll put a picture of it above my head now. Polestar 3, I did a walk-around video of that car, which was really popular. It looks like this, and that goes on sale this year, as well as this one. The Polestar 3 is the biggest out of that bunch as well. There is a Polestar 5 and 6 coming. I won't talk about those now because we've got plenty to talk about with the 4. So we've put it on profile because this is probably the most interesting part of the Polestar 4. What is it? Well, they say it's an SUV coupe. I don't really know if it is one of those, and frankly I don't care, because you can see from what it is here, it's kind of a sleek 4-door, 5-seat car. But when you look at the dimensions, this is where it gets interesting. So this car is 259mm longer in wheelbase than a Polestar 2, but wheelbase is interesting because this is 3-meter wheelbase. It's 2mm longer than a Range Rover in wheelbase. And I think it's identical to the Ioniq 5, so big wheelbase, which means lots of cabin room inside and not very many overhangs. 234mm longer than the Polestar 2, that's the car we're all familiar with in the Polestar range at the moment, and 65mm taller. This thing has really been sculpted for aerodynamics, and that's why there's no rear window, but we'll come on to that in a bit. So remember, Geely, the Geely group who own Polestar and Volvo, under that umbrella is also Lotus. There's a little bit of Electra going on in certain styling cues at the front, I think, no bad thing. They own LEVC, the Black London taxi group, and a number of other cars, including Smart actually, they own the Smart. This car will be made in China. I think they're going to make it in Korea as well. And it goes on sale now. The minute you watch this embargoed video, that's when it's going on sale. Price-wise, starts at £59,990 on the road in the UK for the long-range single-motor car, which is 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. But this one, the twin motor, the higher performance car, starts at £67,000, so 7 grand more. 0 to 62 in 3.8 seconds, fast. Both restricted to 124 miles an hour. But like I said, so although it says 100 kilowatt hour, that's the size of the battery, but the usable size of the battery pack is 94 kilowatt hours. And it has 110 prismatic cells made by CATL, nickel, manganese, cobalt, 400 volts. Haven't gone for the 800 volts like some people like Porsche, for example. I've fortunately been joined by Max Mazzoni, who is the head of design for Polestar cars. Because rather than me describing all of the design, I'd rather have an actual professional who's drawn the cars himself to talk about it. So Max, thanks for giving you some of my time before you catch flight. This has been a long time coming. This is apparently going to be the best-selling Polestar, so no pressure.
That's what we hope.
So can you run me through, first of all, the sort of the general design, and then we'll go to the back and the cabin. But the general overview of the car, I mean, it's been described as a sort of SUV coupe.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's. I also call it the new breed of vehicle because you get this SUV stance and the SUV height in a way that you're above the road. You have a slightly higher seating position.
Yeah.
But then you have an extreme coupe silhouette to the car.
Yeah.
And because of the long wheelbases that we get with electric cars, you get an extremely spacious interior. And that whole combination of a really sporty car with an elevated seating position is a great new breed of vehicle, I would say.
So front end, let's have a little look at the front end, because that That, to me, this I've seen this in a couple of your other models. It's a similar kind of design language, and I know that I didn't know this until I just walked in the studio. There's something special going on with the badge as an illumination thing. So that's a first.
That's a first, and it's going to happen more and more because the legislation is changing. We can put more and more exterior lighting into the cars.
Yeah.
But as for now, we can only use this effect in the welcome sequence, because it's still not legal in Europe. So what's really nice about this is that the logo is not illuminated by itself, so it's not going through the logo surface, because that would kind of jeopardize the purity and the body color nature of this logo. So if you imagine you have the badge in black, it would still be fully black, but you get this halo effect around it. I think that's a much more proud and elegant way and sophisticated way to illuminate the logo.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So this here, that's the bonnet line, and this line here, is that where the bumper and the sort of front panel is?
Yeah, this is the split line, and that's what we call a soft nose. But for pedestrian impacts and for low speed crash, this is the soft nose. Here is a frunk underneath, as we like it in electric cars. And as you said, the signature itself is the dual blade. So we've evolved the Thor's hammer that we started with, because we're one family with Volvo. We've evolved it now into the so-called dual blade.
Dual blade.
The two headlamp, daytime running lamp signatures, two blades, and the top has an additional character building DRL function here. And the real, let's say the lamp functions, high beam, low beam, they're in the lower area.
Oh, okay. Right, I see.
But they're still within one unit, so that's important, that you have a characterful face of the car. They're not hidden away somewhere else. Yeah.
I've just noticed a bit of brushed aluminium.
Yeah, a bit of this SUV character being put in there, the scuff plate. It's a quote, I'd say.
Now this particular model, am I right in thinking that it's got the larger of the wheel choices?
This is the performance pack with 22-inch wheels, and they're forged and machined rims. So they're milled on top of it, so they're not diamond cut, so they're not the usual pattern, but they're machined, so you get this really crystalline 3D shape in them.
Yeah, there is a lot of shape to that.
Head to the Black Circles website, enter your vehicle registration number and your postcode, and then you'll find the most suitable tyres for your car and your budget. There are thousands of reviews of different tyres from real customers to help you choose the best tyres for your car. And with the Black Circles Click and Fit service, with over 2,000 tyre fitting partners, there will be a garage or a mobile tyre fitter conveniently located near you.
What with it being an electric car and all that, you want to know how it charges. It charges in here, there. That 100 kilowatt hour battery is 94 kilowatt hour usable stats wise. Now I don't have the stats for the 7 kilowatt wall box charging, but I do have the stats for 22 kilowatt AC. It'll do 0 to 100% in 5.5 hours, and it'll do up to 200 kilowatts DC rapid charge, and it'll do 10 to 80% in 30 minutes. It's a big old flap, that, isn't it? The PS4, I shouldn't really call it PS4, it just reminds me of PlayStation, but you know what I mean. PS4's got a pretty big bonnet, a sea of plastic. There is a frunk in here. It's probably really only good enough for charging cables, type 2 cable. And there it is. I think it's smaller than the PS2's frunk, but I like to show you these things for transparency. It's a bigger boot at the back, obviously. So the back of the 4, this is the bit which, when we saw the images, first of all, when it was at the Shanghai Motor Show, everyone was like, what? No back window, but there is a lot going on here with the pano roof, the way the boot opens, and the general design. So run me through this, Max, because is this the first production car with no back window?
I would say
or passenger car as in not a supercar?
Right, there are lorries as well that have no...
Yeah, you want vans, yes.
But, and supercars, maybe that's a better example. But I would say in Europe and in the US, it's the first.
Is it?
Yeah. And amongst the first in Asia. But, so there is a window.
There is a window?
Yeah, and it's right here. That's the window.
Oh, the camera?
Yeah, that's the window.
Okay.
So, and it gives you a really wide view in the screen in the front.
Yeah.
Much, much wider than you could expect from any coupe.
Yeah.
because mostly coupes are compromised. You know that the roof line is very fast, which is good for efficiency.
Yeah.
But then what happens is you have to look through under the lowered structure, which means that you get a very narrow field of view through the mirror.
Yeah.
And then the passengers in the rear normally have structure above their heads, so it's quite uncomfortable and cramped.
Well, talking of aero and structure, are those the reasons why this is the shape it is?
Right. For efficiency and aerodynamics, this is the shape it is.
Yeah.
The airflow stays attached until this point.
Yeah.
That's very important. That gives efficiency. And then the structure is moved rearwards in order to get enough headroom on the interior, and then the camera takes the job of the window.
So all the sort of bracing for rigidity is usually what, like around here on a conventional car, is it?
I would say here.
Here.
Just right above your head.
Oh, right above
and that's the thing. You need to keep it above your head because you want to look underneath. You want to look through underneath
Yeah.
the mirror.
Yeah.
But in this case, because we're leveraging the technology, we're moving it rearwards.
Back here.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why the structure sits here.
Yeah.
And you still have a very high hatchback-like tailgate, which is really practical.
Again, it's a hatch. I thought originally it was a saloon.
Mm.
So this is the hinge line for
Correct.
the boot lid. Could you
Correct.
show us the boot?
Yeah, sure. But have a look at the rear first. I mean, have
Yeah.
a look at this impression. I mean, that's one of the benefits, or,
Yeah.
you know, one of the outcomes of this redesign, that you get this extremely robotic and monolithic rear end, nearly like a supercar, but in a bigger dimension.
Robotic, monolithic. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I know the Polestar 2, we see a lot of them in the UK. The rear light signature is quite recognisable
Yeah.
at night.
And we want to keep this really clear, recognizable signature.
Yeah. Well, that's quite tunnelled in, isn't it, in there, that ledge there?
Yeah, that's the main signature, and then we have all the indicators and fog lamps in the second layer.
Yeah.
All right, shall we?
Yes, boot is quite
Now we can.
important, you know, the family
Power
oriented.
operated, of course.
Yeah.
So and that's it. It's very large, as you can see.
Yeah.
And you have two levels. You can lower this one down and get another level, more liters. Then you have a slightly higher liftover, but that's your choice. You want to keep it flat or lowered.
So the 15 litres extra in there, I was reading,
Yeah,
is that right?
yes.
526 litres here, which is what the PS2, the Polestar 2 is 405 litres. And I know that we'll sit in it in a minute, but it's weird seeing this. This is totally different to any other car I've seen.
So you're only allowed to specify the volume of the boot, the liters, to the top of the rear seats.
Okay.
Because above that there would be a window, so you're not supposed to fill it full with stuff and obstruct your rear view.
Yeah.
But in this case, since the camera is the window, you can fill your boot as full as you can, and it's always okay. You will
Okay.
always have a great view.
It's a very odd concept, isn't it? But I guess it is. Was this your idea? This no rear window thing? How did the whole no rear window idea come about?
I think we realized that technology was at that level that the camera has such a high resolution, such a fast frame rate, is so light sensitive,
Yeah.
that you can use it for this purpose solely. I mean, that you can only use that system and it will perfectly replace or even improve the existing situation. I mean, that happens in technology all the time, that a technology reaches a point where it's ready to disrupt certain areas. This is only an area of an architecture of a car.
But it is disruptive. It's fascinating. I want to now see what it's like in there,
Yeah.
the crucial backseat area. Right, so just for clarity, we've had to light with studio lights this cabin so you can see us. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to see us. But there's numerous different ambient pieces of lighting which are key to this car. Right? I was reading about, obviously you're trying to create light where there isn't at the back. But what I would say is the pano roof goes back beyond our heads. So there is a window, it's just there rather than there. And there is actually, these are windows, I didn't realise these are visible as well.
Yeah, they're tinted right now, but
Yeah.
I mean, this is the great thing here, that because we move the structure rearwards, you have the window all the way behind your head.
Yeah.
So when you look straight up, which is not something that you can do normally in coupes,
No.
SUV coupes or any coupe, you look straight up, you have all glass. So that's very nice.
Yeah.
And then there's another thing, of course you have enough headroom because of that.
Yeah.
You have enormous legroom. I mean, check this
There's
out.
there's loads.
Yeah, this is set on me, so I would be sitting in front of myself now, and I have still like
Really?
15. Yeah,
That's a lot.
that is a lot. Yes, it always surprises me
Yeah.
myself. It's very, very generous. And then there's one more thing. If you press this little button, the one rearwards preferably, look,
Oh,
I can do it too.
okay. So we've got a level of recline here.
You have quite a generous recline in this car. I mean, now
So-
we're like,
So this is because this is on a bespoke EV
Yeah.
platform,
Yes.
the SEA platform, C platform,
correct.
and it's a 3-meter wheelbase.
It's a 3-meter wheelbase, and we can really bridge one segment basically. So it's a D segment car and an E segment at least interior. I mean, if you look at that spaciousness, it's
Amazing.
It's amazing.
Frameless doors, I
Yep.
noticed.
Yep.
That's cool. And this is a 5-seater. This thing here, this lovely armrest, this is all stitched. There is a seat here. It's not a 4-seater or anything like that. And although these are one-piece seats, you can actually see through. There is a little letterbox
Yeah, you
window
can tickle your driver.
with like a padded little area.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah, and on that pad, what we do at Polestar, we have these little tags where we write information about sustainability mostly of the
Yeah.
upholstery of the car itself, and this just shows that this is a 3D knitted material.
I love
So
this fabric.
It's quite nice, right?
Yeah.
It feels really comfortable and soft.
It's
The
brilliant.
whole interior we call soft tech. So we use this approach of replacing the traditional luxury materials like wood and chrome
Yeah.
with textiles, mostly textiles and soft surface materials.
Yeah.
So really inspired by the fashion industry.
It'll be interesting when these studio lights are down, what it feels like with the ambient lights. But I have to say, the window line, although it is high in relation to the glass line, when you're sat in it, this feels lower than I was expecting, which is a good thing, especially for children.
Yeah, and it's, I personally am not a big fan of direct light. We have these light lines in the car, as many others do as well, but I was really keen on creating this atmosphere of indirect light,
Yeah.
just ambience, and especially behind our heads, because we're used to a window. There's this, like in an airplane, in business class, there's this indirect light behind you and above you. I think that really gives a very luxurious feeling to the
Business
cabin.
class flying. Is there a speaker system? Is there some speakers down here?
There's speakers in the doors.
Yeah.
There's speakers down here. There's speakers up here. There's speakers in the front. So
Okay.
it's and that's the other thing. You can hide them really nicely behind the textile.
Yeah, because that's sort of floating, isn't it? That piece there
Yeah.
with the light on it.
Yeah. If we dim the light, we can see that there's even more light coming through the surfaces.
Yeah. What a fascinating piece of packaging. I wonder if you're ever
Glad
going
you
to
like it.
design a rear windowless car again.
Well,
It's going to be interesting to
Polestar
see.
5 is coming
That's
like that.
Is that windowless?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes. That was Precept. You remember the concept car in
Yes.
in the beginning, and that set the tone for this idea of replacing the rear window in coupe body styles with a camera.
Yeah. I'm getting used to it already. I haven't even driven the damn car yet, but it's surprising how the way you've kind of changed the perception of it. I'm in the front of the PS4. The first thing you notice is obviously the large touchscreen, which dominates the simple dash. But the difference between this one and the Polestar 3 that I did the walk around video of, as you'll notice, is this is landscape. Polestar 3 is portrait. Still has the Google operating system like all the other Polestars, which is really easy to use actually. There is one knob. It's there. It's a rotary, really nice knob sitting in a kind of brushed aluminium area with like a glass top, and that's for things like volume, I think, and start stop. And then your tiles here, as you'd normally expect to see them. But what you don't normally expect to see is, I don't know, like a quick lesson in planets, which is all to do with the ambient lighting theme of the car. And they've really gone to town, Polestar, on the ambient lighting because of that lack of back window, to create a sort of warm cocoon effect rather than a kind of young offender's prison, I suppose. Different planets signify different colourways. So we've got Venus, we've got we've got Earth. It gives you some stats, which is quite sophisticated. That if you go to Mars, and this all goes red or pinky red. Average temperature is minus 65 degrees C, and the average day length is 25 hours. So there you go. the rest of the dash, you've got this particular version has the optional Harman Kardon hi-fi square, really quite interesting kind of square door speakers. And I believe all the architecture of the door cards are made of the same material to make it easier to recycle, because Polestar are always trying to analyse and reduce their carbon footprint with the manufacture of the car and then the subsequent recycling of that car. It's all very simple. If you're expecting cluttered, this is not the brand for you. And as such, although it is a flat floor car at the back, it has quite a high dominant centre console. The same in the Polestar too. 2 cup holders, wireless, quite a deep wireless phone charging well in there. This has a little blind that goes across and some USB-Cs and enough room to put, I don't know, massive bag of Doritos in there. Ola, my specialist area when it comes to cars is not the cutting edge tech. So what I wanted to ask with you, because in the intro to this I mentioned about sort of like quite a high level of autonomy that this car is going to potentially have. Yeah. So can you run me through all of its systems, its cameras, its lidars, its radars, that kind of thing?
Yeah, happy to do that.
Okay.
So the Polestar 4 is equipped with a supervision system from Mobileye.
Mobileye, right, okay.
Right.
Yep.
So it's a 12 vision, 1 radar system with 12 cameras. 11 of them are exterior. They are used for safety purposes. For example, identifying a car running up from behind.
Okay.
They are used for parking purposes. So the cameras around the car sharing a 360 view and a rear view when parking the car.
So of course, because it's got no back window,
exactly,
it has to have better camera visibility.
Yeah.
So this will have a 360 view, and obviously this is an electric, a camera rear view camera. Okay, and I've noticed you've got a camera in the front wings.
Yeah.
In the wing mirrors.
Yeah, so they're all around the car. So it's on the side, it's on the front low, rear high, and front high. Wow. Because low cameras are for purposes of parking and to detect objects very close to the car, and the high located cameras are for objects further ahead or rearwards.
Okay.
Finally, we're having the camera system supporting driver support system. So for example, we have ACC and pilot assist in the car supporting the driver when driving.
Yeah. So, and I know that it won't go on sale initially with autonomy, but it's been designed to have autonomy in it eventually. Is that right?
We will have a LiDAR on top of a car, and we'll take it step by step further towards autonomy when legislation is approving it and when we feel confident that we have the functions we like to have in the car.
Right, okay, yeah. Because I certainly read that it's going to have quite a high level of sort of visibility ahead. And
that's absolutely our target, to be on top of this functionality. Yeah. Yes.
Brilliant. So, in other words, safe, like all, Volvos and Polestars in the past. Did you say 12 cameras?
I did say 12 cameras, and I missed out one, as you say. So there is a 12th camera in the A-pillar, and it's a eye-detecting camera to detect drowsiness or distraction, and then it will highlight to you that
you're drowsy or distracted.
Yeah, by noise or some visible notices in the car. So that is the 12 cameras for the ADAS system, and then we have a camera for the mirror. So in total there are one more.
13?
Yeah.
Okay.
14?
14.
It's
So there you have it. That's all the information I can tell you on the £60,000, 380 mile Polestar 4. Maybe you're a Polestar 2 customer and you're thinking about ordering one of these. Let me know in the comments. Or maybe you're thinking of buying one of the competitors like the Macan Electric or the BMW iX3, or you're a Tesla Y customer who's sniffing around this. Any of those things, let me know in the comments. I much appreciate it. If you haven't already subscribed to The Late Break Show, I hate you. I'd love you to subscribe. Thank you.